From Wakefield, it's the Ice Team Meme Show starring Nolan Carr, inviting you to join Nolan Carr and his guest this week, Jeff Alves, as he returns to the show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Nolan Carr.
And welcome back to the show. My next guest has graciously taken the time out of his day to make his long-awaited return to the program. He's athletic, he's a hustler, he's a hard worker, and he's a huge supporter of this program and a loyal friend of yours truly. He's none other than the one and only Jeff Alves. Before we get down to the nitty-gritty of this program for the week with my Warwick brother from another mother, I'd like to take a brief moment for a little PSA of sorts. If you're fortunate enough to be watching this on YouTube, help me out by smashing that like button down below, hitting that subscribe button, clicking that bell so you're notified when another episode of the podcast is up or any other content here, as well as clicking that arrow button to share with your friends and family to let them know on what they're missing out of with this great content. If you're technologically savvy, if that's what you are, and you're just listening to the audio-only version, click that heart button if available, click that follow button to follow the podcast, and click that bell button so you're notified when new podcast episodes are dropped on your specific podcast streaming service, as well as clicking that arrow button if available to share with your friends and family wherever you can share it so they can be aware of what's going on this amazing show. I can't begin to express how important that is in order to ensure both the growth and continued success as well as the improvement of the program for future episodes throughout the weeks ahead. I know everyone is busy, but if you took the extra minute or so to do that for no doubt, it would mean the world for me more than you would know. Also, I know times are tough and, money is tight for certain people and family members close and far as well as friends have died. But if you could, there's an option on anchor.fm, which is where the podcast is hosted, the website, where you can donate if you find the podcast. And, like I just said, I know times are tight and money might not be an option to donate, but if you could, any amount helps. And doing so ensures the continuation of the program as well as the overall improvement and quality of the future episodes. And finally, as I've mentioned before, with COVID as busy and rampant as ever, more of us are spending more indoor time than we usually would want to. Hosting the show and having guests on such as Mr. Jeff soon have been one of the biggest kicks in life I've had recently, and I really enjoyed doing it. In saying so, I'd really appreciate if you could stay with us till the end, seeing as the episodes are filled with so much quality that you're only getting a small chunk of the piece of this pie if you're only staying for a few minutes. I put all my effort and energy into making sure each week's episode is better than the previous week, and it sets a high standard for the following week's episode. When you only watch 90 seconds to 4 minutes of the podcast episode, you're not really getting the whole gist and whole viewpoint of the show. The show's full of lots of laughs, fun times, great stories shared, old and new, as well as reacting to some great videos. And if you stay to the end, that's when you get all the great content and know what the show is all about. At the end of the day, though, I can't begin to explain how grateful I am for all of you who have joined me so far, whether it be viewing or subscribing or both, or followed this show from episode 1 to the end. This journey has just begun, though, so keep it up. And now let's get to the show. And welcome back to the show. This is my weekly episodic bit here I do on the Ice Team Meme Show. What happened last week with Nolan Carr? A lot of shit's happened in the fucking news this past calendar week. Without further ado, let us get to the segment. It was announced in some more revealing news, I should say. Legendary right-wing radio personality Rush Limbaugh has passed away last week after a battle with cancer. For the first time, I haven't seen more people crying for joy since the young Judy Garland dumped water on the Wicked Witch of the West in front of all the monkeys around like the modern Klan circuit and beating up someone for saying climate change exists. Texas found themselves in a rare circumstance as deadly cold weather storms swept the state, leaving millions without power or hot water. While this happened, their senator decided to go back to his ancestral roots and flee the country for a better life on the other side of the border, spending $3 a night in a hotel with his friends and family. Former Trump Press Secretary Kayla McEnany was in the news this past week speaking out about a recent remark Biden made at his first town hall as president. McEnany thought it was bizarre and revealing that Biden, quote, liked children more than adults, end quote. McEnany must have amnesia, saying that she spent a portion of her adult life defending a man who would want to fuck his daughter instead of standing up to white supremacy. It was reported once again that the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip, is in the hospital after feeling unwell, according to reports from Windsor Castle. Prince Philip has been in the hospital longer than it took Republicans to speak out against Trump during the Capitol riots or pushing through Supreme Court justices during his presidency. It was reported last week that Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi is requesting a 9/11 type of commission in response to the Capitol building riots. When Pelosi isn't being used as a wax figure at Madame Tussauds in New York City, she wants to spend every single last breath in regards to beating Trump. Later last week, the hit movie Gilmore celebrated its 25th anniversary as both Adam Sandler and other co-star Christopher McDonald posted on social media giving their thoughts on the anniversary. After seeing these posts, millions of subpar former high school athletes posted on their stories to show that they are as well cinematically cultured as the rest of us. Some more exciting news: popular YouTuber Logan Paul announced that he will be leaving Los Angeles and moving to Puerto Rico. After hearing that the Puerto Rican government made sure they had no one hanging in the forest, so their country wouldn't get any bad publicity. And some disappointing political news: Texas Senator Ted Cruz is spotted traveling to Cancun while the state was in the midst of a dangerous winter storm. Hey, you have to give some man like Cruz some credit, wanting to bring his family to where he grew up and how his life was in this previous homeland. Some exciting space news: NASA officially landed another rover on Mars, further stating hopes of having people on that planet. Or my fuck. What's more exciting is that the rover that was left there died now is something special to be with. Too bad Ted Cruz didn't do that, as pictures surfaced of his dog being left home in the dark, like some guy shooting a shot with a girl out of his leg. It was made official that former President Donald J. Trump will be speaking at this week's CPAC in Florida. This will be Trump's first public speech since his notorious speech prior to the January 6 riots, as well as his permanent social media ban. Trump finally speaking publicly will be like that person working in the food industry, holding in all the negative things from the week that the customer has said to her before letting it all out after closing the restaurant on Friday. Some exciting sports news: NFL Hall of Famer Deion Sanders won his first game as a CFB head coach for the Jackson State Tigers against Edward Waters 53-0 this past weekend. Leave the Texans to have some obscure high school blow out their rival by over 30 points. This is funny because if that were my old high school team, they'd stop playing for the rest of the season and remove the program from its permanent history. That's how bad my school team was. Some tech news: it's being reported that the iPhone 13 is being rumored to have a 120 hertz and the always-on display similar to the Apple Watch and Android products that have had it for years. I, for one, aren't a fan of this, seeing as whenever I take my watch off, it fucking dies 20 minutes later. This is bad news for haters of the D'Amelio family, as it gives them 24/7 access to creating unlimited videos of them lip-syncing for 100 million views whenever they want. And some comedy news: comedian Chris D'Elia has finally resurfaced as he posted a new video on his YouTube channel in regards to the sexual abuse claims made against him. D'Elia stated that although all of his relationships, I should say, have been legal and consensual, he has had a problem with sex in his life. After hearing about this, both Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein were like, so what you're saying is I'm going to die in fucking prison while this man gets to walk free. What the fuck is this? SNL is under fire after Weekend Update co-star Michael Che made a, quote, anti-Semitic joke during the program in regards to Israel's COVID-19 vaccine distribution. The entertainment industry is confusing as it's run by Jews, according to the deceased famous actor Marlon Brando. That's not racist for me saying it because, he said that in an interview. And some sad sports news for Houston Rockets fans: it appears as though DeMarcus Cousins and the Houston Rockets are parting ways before the trade deadline, with the Lakers being his new suitor once again. I miss the old days when irrelevant players stayed on teams instead of going from a starting position to a bench role just to win a championship. Some scary news: videos and photos were shown on social media of one of United Airlines Flight 328's engines catching on fire and parts of the plane falling off to the ground below in Denver. Meanwhile, people are reading about this to themselves. Wait a minute. Did this happen in the news about the Northeast about 20 years ago? Legendary baseball player Reggie Jackson has announced that he is no longer an advisor for the New York Yankees, stating that it's time for him to retire. Also saying, quote, I think it's just time. Fans remember him not just as only Mr. October while playing in the World Series, but for his Hitler-like demeanor on and off the field. Former Red Sox and Yankees World Series champion Johnny Damon was arrested last week for DUI and resisting an officer in Florida. There's no greater feeling than going from a multi-time World Series champion in the same division to being arrested in Florida. Then again, at least he's not blatantly showing his support for Trump. Some scary sports news: boxer Oscar Valdez scored what was a nasty KO of the year contender against Miguel Berchelt to claim the title. Nothing like saying two guys beat up each other to death just for approval from a few white men determining their outcome. Which is what George Washington thought when he employed slaves before he was president. Tennis superstar Novak Djokovic defeated Danil Medvedev 7-5, 6-2, 6-2 for his third straight Australian Open title, making his Grand Slam total 19 overall, his ninth Australian Open in total. For a man who was more up and down than the Republican Party when Trump would mess up, he seems to have a shit in order more than any of Trump's closest associates who left the administration. Naomi Osaka defeated U.S. tennis player Jennifer Brady 6-4, 6-3 at the Australian Open for her second title of this tournament, as well as her fourth Grand Slam title overall. For a girl as young as she is, and to be this successful early on, it's more impressive than an NCAA women's basketball game reaching more than 60 points. Some health news: Dr. Anthony Fauci said he expects Americans could still be wearing masks in 2020. I still think that people should be wearing masks in 2020. After hearing this, members of the QOP started to get their Trump 2024 flags and Klan gear ready to storm another major government building again. wearing a mask for another whole year is like opening presents on Christmas, and you have one more hoping it's the gift you wanted. I just hate wearing masks. And I hope it's over soon. Just like when Christmas time, and I'm waiting for the last year, hopefully to be the one I want. It's official for all you reality TV fans out there, as Kim Kardashian has officially filed for divorce from Kanye West. After a roller coaster of her marriage as of late, Kardashian has set a new family record for being with some of the longest in a relationship of any sort. 95-year-old man from Tennessee has been deported back to Germany after it was found out that he was a former Nazi concentration camp guard during World War II. It said that we're still finding people who were Nazis in America, but still find a way to find the smallest bit of irrelevant news to report, like Newsmax reporting about Joe Biden's dog looking unpresidential because he looked a little dirty. Some sad health news. The total number of U.S. COVID deaths has passed 500,000. After hearing this, Trump thought this was the amount of money he'd be being paid now that he's not president. Former star of the hit Disney show The Mandalorian, Gina Carano, spoke out publicly on Ben Shapiro's show, stating that she won't back down or go down easy. I feel as though that sounds awfully familiar, like someone with a lot of power said it before getting his stupid cronies to create some sort of mass illegal action. Former head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, Ryan Saunders, has been dismissed with the team after accumulating league worst record 7-24 this past season. And playing for Minnesota wasn't bad enough. Saunders' deceased father is looking down, probably saying, "Fuck, this is what I left for the team. God damn it." Trump loyalist and governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, has ordered flags to flown at half staff, guarding his fellow Trump loyalist, Rush Limbaugh. If it couldn't get any worse for Florida, the governor thought it was logical to lower flags for a man who made fun of an actor who was trying to continue acting while he had a life-debilitating illness. Then again, it can't be as bad as being named Ron. In some news that made Democrats days, the SCOTUS announced that they have denied Trump's final bid to block the release of his financial records. After hearing this, Rudy Giuliani said, "This isn't over, and that we'll keep fighting this until it gets to the Supreme Court." After being told this was the SCOTUS, yelled, "This is all Hillary Clinton and Hunter Biden's fault." Some surprising sports and business news. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones actually made money during the winter storms driving through Texas this week through his business. Even after making more money this year, he still can't agree with Dak Prescott on a fair contract for him this upcoming season. Motown music legend Stevie Wonder announced that he will be moving to the country of Ghana due to there being a lack of love for each other in this country. No one has cared less about this since Kurt Schilling announced he would be running for president of the United States. And finally, in some political news, Attorney General nominee Merrick Garland made it known during his confirmation hearing that the Capitol building investigation will be his first priority as Attorney General. It's great to finally know that an old white dude won't be the president's personal lawyer instead of ethically just being the country's lawyer. That's what happened this past week, and a lot of fucking shit happened in the news this past week. With that being said, let's carry on the show. See you this. We'll be right back with the remainder of this program with our guest for this week, returning Jeff Alves. Well, I want to thank Mr. Jeff Alves for being on the show this week. I greatly appreciate returning and taking time out of his day. A reminder for all you out there, as always, the show will be on all major podcast streaming services, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and so many other ones. It'll be available Thursday. Don't forget, if you enjoy this, whether you're viewing it on YouTube or listening just to the audio version, whatever platform you use, don't forget to hit that like button or heart button. Follow and subscribe to the podcast. Turn the bell to get notified when new episodes drop, as well as sharing with your friends and family so they're updated and enjoying the Ice-T Meme Show family. And yeah, I'll catch you next week for another edition of the program. Take care, and as always, stay meming and scheming. No Dog signing out. And welcome back to the show. My next guest has graciously taken the time out of his busy day to make his long-awaited return to the program. He's the multi-talented, multifaceted, industrious, and he's also a big-time supporter of this program, this wonderful program. Who wouldn't be? He's also a true and loyal friend. He's none other than the one and only Mr. Olive Garden himself, Mr. Jeff. Mr. Jeffrey, thank you for coming back on the program this week. It means a great deal for you to help me as I'm rebounding once again for another week with other guests.
No, thank you.
Oh, yes. Although I had in mind for you to return back later into the next season, things had to be adjusted. Some other people had other priorities in mind, and I thought, why not go back to someone who was highly successful and enjoyable on this program last? So I said, I'll go with Mr. Jeff himself solo this time. Next time we can get the other cohorts on here as well in season number 2. Before though I begin, I want to do the brief little fucking PSA as I always do for some gained clout. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe, click that bell notification button as well as that share button. Share with your friends and family so you all can join in with us and watching this grand old conversation between two pals. And who wouldn't want to see this? So share it with your friends and family so you can tell, oh, look what you're fucking missing out, you stupid fucks. If you're technologically savvy and just want to listen to an audio like you're Stevie Wonder blind, click that heart button, click the follow button, share it, turn the bell notification so you're notified with the rest of your mumble rap stuff that you may listen to out there and hear this wonderful podcast. Also, I know times are tough. Family members and friends you've known may have died during COVID and money may be tough. There's an option though, in order to ensure the high success, I should say, the continued growth of this show. Any donation possible on Anchor FM, which is where I host the show, would be greatly appreciated. I enjoy doing the show. So if you help out, I'd be greatly appreciated. Also, I'm an analytical type of man. I see in the analytics, although they say not to look at it, that many people just view the first 30 seconds to 4 minutes of this. This is only a small, minute piece of the motherfucking apple pie. If you could stick to the end, because there's a whole lot of shit we talk about in the next hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes of this show. If you're only catching a small bit of it, if you stick to not even the entire fucking monologue. So without further ado, that's enough. I'll say it again at the end, but let us begin the show now.
All right.
This show's been going for a few months now. You haven't been on in a few months. So what's been going on in the COVID life for yours truly, Mr. Jeff? What's been going on?
Well, school started up again, which kind of sucks. I got to get used to that. It's kind of flying by though. I mean, like a month's already passed, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm just excited for it to end, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it was really nice out today. I just came from I played a little basketball earlier, so that was fun.
Gotta rebound from the bad performance.
Oh yeah, that was not good. Hey, it's not I don't think I'm able to play worse than what I did.
Yeah, you can only get better and you can never get worse.
Right.
For you though, in your opinion, your grand opinion, seeing as we have a new as they say, commander-in-chief in charge of this grand old country that it is. Mm-hmm. And I guess you could say improvements depending on where you fall in the spectrum. There's been a milestone reached with 200 possible vaccines for someone like ourselves or anyone else in the country for every single person. What are your hopes going forward now that there's new leadership with this whole pandemic? Do you think we're gonna be able to defeat this soon?
I mean, I hope so. I think one of the flaws is I might be a little biased because my dad is at risk, but I think that not only should it be for 75 and up or 65 and up, but I think that step one or phase one should be at risk people as well.
Yeah.
I don't see why that's not like a given. You know what I mean? Like try to get people out there that need it most first and then work from there. But to be honest, I mean, I don't think there is much else we can do than wait and see how the vaccine plays out. I mean, clearly the numbers have been going down because of the vaccine. But I mean, I heard the other day that or yesterday that we only had, I think, 4 new COVID admissions to the hospital, which is like very low. That's the lowest number, I think. So
well, there you go. I mean, my both two of my grandparents on my father's side both had gotten theirs together. I think last week. They got to get their next one in about a month or so, and then my grandmother, my mother's side got it last weekend. My grandfather's got to get his, but he's, since he's a veteran, he's getting it to the VA and he doesn't use technology. And I guess they're all contacting them through email or whatever it was. So I doubt he'll be I doubt he'll get a message anytime soon, but I'm just hopefully by the time we get it in June or July, like they said, hopefully it's died down. There's not a third version of this whole thing. Although with the new strands being found in South Africa and Oklahoma and Massachusetts, it's not as bad. Hopefully Johnson gets theirs out soon, but it's still though, even at this length, when we all know how severe this has been, and I know I mentioned this when Sir Nicholas was on last with you, it's kind of sad still. There's still people who are still fighting this and still aren't wearing their masks. I know when I play tennis up in Warwick at Tennis Rhode Island, we get practice starts at 8:30, and there are people all on the courts all over. There's 6 of them, and half the people there are also over the age of 50, and they're either wearing the mask above their nose and not covering the mouth, or just below the nose, or just covering the mouth and the nose is
I mean,
open.
At that point, the point.
It's unfortunate because, you know, so many people don't take it serious enough still at this point, and so many people feel as though it's not real until, you know, they're actually affected. It's really sad and embarrassing, and it's almost comical. Then all of a sudden they make it a big deal when it truly affects them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't get it. It speaks volumes to the amount of upheave and destruction that the prior administration caused during this, because it could have been defeated so easily or attacked so easily, and then next thing you know, 500,000 people are dead, and it's sad, but it's just why do you think so many people deny this late into the game still?
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that people are always going to be like, oh, I mean, there's always like a 99 point like something percent survival rate. There's nothing to worry about. Same thing as the flu. And like, I get that like you can be confident, you know what I mean? Like I get when people compare it, they're like, I don't get my flu shot and I'm fine. You know what I mean? But like there hasn't been like this many deaths. Like it's crazy. I mean, like a few months ago, didn't we set like 3 days in a row the record for most deaths in U.S. history, like every single day?
It was like a solid week where that was happening.
Yeah. So like obviously that's not like something to like sneeze at. You know what I mean? Like I don't get how people just like are ignoring it.
I know. And what I see is, though, even when this was first starting in that period, like you said, during the summer or whenever the fuck it was, the death rate was going up extremely, and it was suddenly going more deaths than 9/11 in one day, more deaths than Pearl Harbor and World War II, and like that. And it's like some of these people preach on all this stuff, and it's like, look at the statistics. Numbers don't lie. A story could lie, a team could lie, a person could lie, but numbers don't lie. And there's enough fucking statistics that would prove this, even for a fucking Rain Man to believe that this thing is pretty vicious. But it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. What's it compared to the first round of COVID, I guess you could say, compared to this? What's it been like working in the food industry during this, second wave of the pandemic?
Well, it's actually crazy because you know how when it first started in the US and everyone was like freaking out, everyone was quarantining, even though it was better than what it is now.
Yeah.
And now everyone is like acting like it's like normal life again. When we first came back, I think it was around May or April. It was only takeout. And then when we opened back up, and I think late May or June, I forget which one it was, it was only like a quarter of the restaurant open. There was like, I worked like my first lunch shift back. It was like, there were like 6 servers throughout the whole restaurant. I'm like, wow, like, this is weird. Like, there's only like 15 people eating right now. And I was like, it's just because I went from having Olive Garden be like packed to the brim every single night. Like there was a wait. I don't know why, because it's Olive Garden, but there was a wait, and to like it being empty. You know what I mean? Like I remember my last shift before it shut down for a while. I was just standing around for an hour. They're like, you can go home if you want. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like around like 50 to 7. It's around 75% capacity. I'm not gonna lie. I think is it supposed to be 50 still?
50%. I know that they brought out new like the new guidelines in the last few weeks. So to be honest, though, I'm not the best to be asking that type of question because I don't know any fucking answer and what it is.
Either way, they've definitely gotten way more lenient with that. Like more tables have been opening up. Gradually over time.
Well, even when I went out to eat, I think last weekend with my friend Michael, who was on this show a few weeks ago, and his lady pal at Cello's in Cranston, and it was packed. There was a lot of people in there, which is surprising with all this. I mean, granted, they had the dividers and all the plexiglass or whatever the fuck it was to block it off, but it's definitely interesting. And then you have Gina and Lieutenant Governor McKee, whatever the fuck his name is, who are doing this, but then they're not even showing up to the briefings anymore. And Raimondo's busy with getting confirmed for the Commerce Secretary, and she hasn't been there in a month, and then McKee hasn't been there in a few weeks, and Then you got the other fucks who are just there, part of the group who are doing the best they can. It's just hopefully McKee will do his best and hopefully try to do it. I see. The thing is, I thought Armando did an okay job. I mean, you can do only as best as you can, and yeah, I mean, you definitely got people who bitch about it all over Facebook. But the thing is though, McKee's not a young spring chicken himself. I think he's in his 60s, so he's getting close to that at-risk group. So we'll see how it goes. But no, it's just it's unfortunate. It's awful that it's had such an impact on everything that we've had, and there's still people who have done this, and people continue to be affected, and it's no big thing. And now I'm seeing that, or reading, I should say, that Dr. Fauci is saying that there might be. He expects that we may have to wear masks till 2022.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that my only thing is though, and you can say your opinion on this, is playing sports. Now, when I'm playing club tennis, I have to wear it constantly, and sometimes I'm not wearing a mask that's super thin, so it gets pretty hot and annoying.
I mean, all right. So when I go to the gym, it's honestly not as bad as you might think. Yeah. But when you're doing like cardio, then it gets hard. Like I only played one game of basketball with it on the other week, and I was gassed within like 3 minutes. And we had one sub, and I played pretty much like the whole game, and I was so tired. Like I was exhausted, and I kept having to I wasn't taking it off because they freak out if they saw it below your nose, but I was like pulling it out a little bit. A little more air.
Oh yeah, well, because then last week when the high school and elementary schools had their February break, I was working for a vacation camp, and even then, I had to wear outside, and I had to wear it in the rooms and in the hallway. At bathroom, I could take it off, but I was getting so hot and I was getting uncomfortable. I kept having to lift it forward to speak, and then gym, I had to break protocol a little bit, lift it down a little bit so they can hear me, because also you can't even hear people half the fucking time when you're
that's annoying when you're serving people at Olive Garden.
Oh yeah. well then it's like at club tennis practices when we're at Tennis Rhode Island. Now it's a big open spot, there's no real acoustic, so especially from one side to the other, it's a far distance, it's a couple dozen feet, so you have to ask them what they're saying a few times, and it's annoying, but hopefully it'll be gone. Hopefully they try their best. I know that the current administration is trying their best to get more vaccines so people can get vaccinated more quickly, and hopefully it's all done relatively soon. But without further ado, it is my favorite portion of this show. It is the video review section, where myself and my guest, being today Mr. Jeff, review these videos and get his honest opinions, or whoever else is on here, honest opinions and comments on these people in the video. So without further ado, I will share this screen. I will share the sound because that would help. And let us go to Google Chrome. Let us click next. And we are here. And let's see, what is this doing? And this is Mr. Big Rob himself. He's a YouTuber. He hasn't posted in a few years. He usually does food reviews or UFC fighting reviews. And this time he's doing a special review of a special drink. Whoopsies.
What up, YouTube?
Oh, you might have to turn up. He mumbles quite a bit, and he talks kind of low.
Okay.
What up, YouTube?
Mine is frozen, by the way.
Huh?
Mine's stuck. It's frozen. Oh, wait.
What up, YouTube?
I can move.
It's Big Wow. Bitches be stopping on mine now. I'm back here again. Bitches be. What up, YouTube? It's Big Wow.
Bitches be slobbing on my knob.
I'm back here again. We're gonna do a review.
A review.
A drink review. I've had this drink before.
It's right now.
But I figured that I review it to let others know what I think about it. So Mountain Dew USA. It's actually really good. It's 3 flavors.
3 flavors.
Together. Code Red, Ride Out, and Voyage.
Voyage.
So, just pop this baby. Here we go. Like I said, I've tasted this before, but I'm gonna actually tell you what I like about it and stuff.
Oh, thanks.
Peanut Pinky up.
Pinky up. Yeah, consider it. Oh, he's got the tats too. He's all linked up. Oh, the lips.
French kiss.
Yeah.
It's fucking delicious.
It's fucking delicious.
Yeah, like he needed to take a sip of that.
It's like it's a fruity flavor.
It's a fruity flavor.
Fucking good.
It's fucking good.
Fucking banging.
Fucking banging.
I have another taste.
Oh, he's gonna have another taste.
Pinky up.
Pinky up. Oh, he's guzzling it. Oh, the tongue. He's loving it like a cow.
You gotta get every drop.
Yeah, when it gets in your neck beard, you gotta drink it.
But yeah, I fucking love it. It's tasty.
I fucking love it.
Go get you some.
Go get you some.
Mountain Dew, USA.
I like this guy.
Yeah, so like I said, he's a YouTuber, Big Rob. He's got almost 600 subscribers. I saw this guy I follow on Twitch played this video in a Discord one time, and I thought this guy was comical. He's interesting. He hasn't posted in a while. Another video, the video that I saw is he was eating a sandwich, 2 pieces of white bread with Copenhagen dip in the sandwich, and his sister was recording him, and he's like, this is Big Rob back for another video, and I'm eating a sandwich. I will throw up, and my sister will record me still as I throw up, and I go to the bathroom. And he's eating it, and he's and next thing you know, it's all coming out of his back out of his mouth, and it looks like SpaghettiOs all over his tinfoil plate. And he's like, and he runs away and goes to the bathroom, comes back. He's like, yeah, I just threw up, and it was delicious. And he started mixing it to get the throw up and start eating it again. It was disgusting, but I think this guy's a legend. Personally, I think on the scale of 1 to 10 of cool guys, he definitely gets a solid 8, 7.5. Your thoughts on this guy?
Well, I mean, he seems pretty educated. He seems like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I like how he tried acting like he's never had it before, so he could review it for us.
Yeah, real Jack Nicholson.
Then all he says was, "That's fucking delicious."
It's fucking delicious. It's fucking banging. It's just like a fruity flavor.
Have you ever seen Jelly World Tours?
No.
Oh God. When you were talking about how he ate something and threw it up, this guy he's eaten just so much, and he just keeps eating, and it's so not good for him. He's like 500 pounds, probably 400 to be honest. But
dear God,
he goes through like drive-throughs, and like he has like Tourette's, so he's like eating, goes, and like he just keeps down his. I'm not like making fun of him for that. I'm just saying.
I know, yeah.
It's part of
it. The second season when that starts, and when you and other people come back on, I'll have to add a video from his onto the.
Yeah, maybe we can get Dylan on.
Yeah, Dylan. That's what I was gonna say. I have. Speaking of Dylan, I have the first few guests for the season 2, and then I have Dylan scheduled, a rough schedule coming around. The 12th to the 19th, from the 12th to the 19th in April, which is the window. Hopefully he'll come on. He has, like I said earlier, or the first episode, he was one of the earliest subscribers of the show. Looking forward to your first episode, Nick. So hopefully I'll have to down the road. I'll have to schedule them. Hopefully he'll be able to come on. I'll have to get some really graphic content for him and some edgy content for him. But next video is another great video. It's a famous one. It was popular news, and yeah.
I love this video.
Woke up, I look at the computer say, Floyd said, fuck T.I., fuck Nelly, fuck 50. I'm like, what did he say fuck me for? Nelly fucked your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fucking fiance, say fuck the This is a special ASLELS challenge for you.
What?
ALES.
This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want to. Fuck the bucket of ice, man. I got a phone call from my man Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy said if Floyd accepts the challenge, that he'll put it on the actual show, so you can read it on the show. We don't want to put pressure on you. We know you can't pronounce those words in that Harry Potter book, so we're gonna let you read Cat in the Hat.
This man,
ALES.
ALES, Ice Bucket Challenge. Fuck the bucket. I'll give you $750,000 if you can read one page of a Harry Potter book. This man, I feel bad for 50 because he was so successful at one point, and then he went off the deep end, and now I don't know how he's living off what money, but God bless him. What I found out due to a guest who was on last week, he informed me that this was made public, and Floyd said although he can read, he did not read the book, so I don't know what happened with the money, but
yeah, I'm sure he can.
God bless 50 and God bless Floyd Mayweather, both psychotic people. The next two videos are two of my favorite comedians talking on one of their shows, the Storm McDonald Live podcast, and the guy's Gilbert Gottfried, the voice of both the parrot from Aladdin as well as the former voice of the duck on the Affleck commercials.
Last night, I got into a bit of a Twitter war with my followers. Followers, it ends up they all fucking hate your guts. But I maintain, I watched this Liberace movie.
Okay.
And he's making out, it's, who plays him? Michael Douglas.
Yes.
First of all, has pussy cancer in his throat. Is making out with Matt Damon.
Without wanting to get too specific, this particular cancer is caused by HPV, which actually comes about from cunnilingus.
I think cancer's a small price to pay to lick Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy. I would
take that chance?
Yeah, I would suck her tits for lupus.
For the chance.
Yeah, the chance. I would eat out her asshole for muscular dystrophy.
For the chance.
Yes, for the chance.
Catherine Zeta-Jones has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Half the time she's Zeta, the other half she's Jones.
Well, listen to this. Catherine Zeta-Jones admitted she is bipolar half the time. She's deliriously happy, and the other time she has to suck an old man's cock. That's dirty. Come on, man. Let's be.
I want to get back to your Twitter feud.
Okay.
The followers. Why are they mad at you? What happened?
Oh, the followers. No, I just maintained that Liberace never said he was gay. And then in this movie, he's sucking cocks and stuff. And I don't think you should do that. And they got mad at me. On the HBO movie, they present him as a secret gay guy. And we don't really know that for sure.
Well, I mean...
He was a pussy cow.
Is that what you hear?
Yes.
Yeah. So I loved Liberace, but with all due respect, man, if you kick that guy in the ass, 100 cocks would fall out. This one's more of a comment, really.
Michael Douglas portrayed the flamboyant entertainer Liberace in the new HBO film Behind the Candelabra. I'd like to say something to Michael Douglas. I sang with Liberace. I knew Liberace. Liberace was a friend of mine. Michael Douglas, you're no Liberace.
I'm sorry. Michael, you can get it from cigarettes or drink.
Prefer that. Oh.
Would you commit suicide by
after
Catherine
this show?
Zeta-Jones?
Catherine, yes, I would. If I wanted to kill myself, I'd eat Catherine Zeta-Jones' twat. Yeah, I sunk. Goodbye.
Get him out. I'm trying to get you out with a.
Well, it's very edgy stuff, very blue, very out there material. For most people that cannot take it because of the political PC culture that we live in nowadays and a lot of cancel culture, both equally out there, Norm Macdonald being the host and the guy Gilbert Gottfried. And there was a joke they made earlier where it was like, I knew Liberace. Liberace was a friend of mine. Michael Douglas, you're no Liberace. And that was a reference to the vice president debate during when George Bush ran against Lloyd Benson, the VP candidate for the Democrats, was running against Dan Quayle, the Republican candidate for vice president. And they mentioned John Kennedy, and Lloyd Benson said that you're no John Kennedy to Dan Quayle. But the thing is, and I know I mentioned this with you guys on the previous episode when you both were on, Nick, and this is my type of humor. I love this stuff. It's a little outside. Unfortunately, a lot of people get triggered. And why do you think, seeing as you're the one who seems to enjoy my edgier side of jokes, why do you think people get so triggered and offended by humor such as this when made in public?
I don't know. I mean, for me, I think humor is pretty subjective.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
I almost feel like they think that people would be mad at them for finding something funny, so they automatically they go back on their heels. You know what I mean? They're like, I find this funny, and they start second guessing themselves. Because I've met a lot of people where they laugh at something, they're like, oh, I shouldn't be laughing at that.
Yeah.
I mean, if it makes you laugh, then
yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, then it's I don't mean to interrupt, but it's sort of like for me at least, I'm not saying I'm some, Jerry Seinfeld or anything, but I feel as though I've experienced this myself. When you say something that you think is funny, and you stand by, and then you have others who don't think it's funny, then they go off on you about it, and they're like, "Oh, that's not funny. You can't say that," and they think they're the people in charge of what's funny, what's not funny, and what their opinion is number one.
I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like when people are like, "Yeah, this can be funny, but this can't be funny." You can say some things, but not other things.
Yeah, and definitely, there's definitely a line to cross. There's definitely stuff, you shouldn't say.
I get that, but I don't know, if it doesn't affect you at all, you should be able to laugh about it.
I remember when back in my high school days, senior year, I had made 2 roast videos of people in my class and school and whatnot, and I had made one at the beginning of the school year and one at the end of the school year. And the first one, I made fun of this guy's girlfriend and called her Clifford the Big Red Dog, because she was kind of a sturdy, hefty lady who had red hair, and she was a ginger. And everyone, all the girlfriends, the girl's boyfriend, all his friends called her Clifford and Big Red or whatever it was. And I made that joke, and the boyfriend wasn't happy, and although everyone else thought it was funny. So it's unfortunate, because then those people abandon ship on you. But Gilbert Gottfried, I gave him a 12 out of 10 on the cool guy scale. I love him, and he doesn't get enough credit. He is pretty old, but that is what it is. This next video is from Family Guy. It's a funny clip that I thought was great, and here we go.
In mine. Minions 3?
Yeah, in this one, Gru has been replaced by Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, you like working for bad guys? I'll show you, bad guy. Now you touch it. You know what to touch.
Banana!
Let's go on now to the third and final section of this show. I know it. Those outside may not know it, besides your circle of friends, but you are a big supporter and fan of a team right now that is not doing too hot. They're more hot and cold than the South during global warming. They are the Boston Celtics. They lost the other night by 3, as you said. I thought it was by 1. They either win half the time or lose half the time. Luckily, 2 of their star players are all-star reserves. Why do you think they play so much up and down basketball this season and the prior seasons?
Well, this season is easily the worst out of the last few seasons. I think people are realizing how important Marcus Smart is to the team. Ever since he went down, we have not done well at all. Kemba has not been playing up to his standards at all. He started in the All-Star game last year, and now he's averaging, I think, 16 points, shooting probably 35% is my guess.
Ugh.
I mean, there's a few bright spots. Jalen and Jason are both amazing. Both averaging 25 and 26. We don't have any really good big men. I like Robert Williams. I think he should play more, but they do not. He's 3rd on the depth chart in terms of their front court. We don't have a really good backup point guard at all. I like Peyton Pritchard, but he's not there yet. Jeff is the worst. We don't have any scorers off the bench. It's just not good. It is really not good. They have needed to pick up a big man for years now, and Danny Ainge has just sit back and not done anything about it. at some point you got to put some blame on Brad Stevens too. I mean, I love Brad Stevens, but he has not been showing me anything this year. I mean, it's crazy how they're 15-16 and they're 6th seed. That's crazy. Like the East is so bad this year. There's only 3 good teams. They have the Sixers and the Nets are easily the 2 best. Then they have the Bucks, and then I think the Pacers are the 4th seed at like 16-15, and then the Raptors are 16-16, and then we're 15-16.
It's different compared to the West, but I mean I don't follow. I mean I like the Celtics, not too bad, but I don't follow them as much as other stuff. It's unfortunate because they rely so heavily on their starters, who then are up and down, and then they have absolutely no one on their bench that is any substantial that could help them. It's sad. Do you think what do you think will happen of them come playoff time? Do you think they'll make it, and do you think they'll?
I mean, I think this is a rough patch. I think they'll definitely get by it. I'm not saying they'll do like anything crazy. Like I don't think they're gonna win more than like, because the season shortened to 72 games. I think this year I don't think they'll win more than like 46 games. But like as long as they finish like 4 games over 500. Or like hopefully more than that, but I'd be okay with it because I know that would be enough to get into the playoffs. And as long as they're starting to hit their stride come postseason, then that'd be fine with me. Hopefully Marcus Smart will be back. Hopefully Ainge finally has the balls to do something. Big man, like I know DeMarcus Cousins just got released the other day. I'm not saying he's anything compared to what he once was, but I mean it's better than what we have. The Rockets stink.
Yeah, they stink, but that's a whole nother fucking conversation because first of all, their star player who was Harden left, and he pulled a liposuction for Brooklyn, and then they got John Wall, who I've never been super confident in now that was injured for that year and a half, and he could fall down any moment. Although he has played decent, he's the only person that is consistent, and he hasn't done. He can't do it himself.
I think Oladipo is hurt right now.
Yeah.
I think Gordon's been hurt for a little bit. I know Christian Wood's been out for the last 12 games, but he's a player.
Well, fuck Eric Gordon because they paid him $30 million too much. He needs to leave immediately.
Tucker doesn't score the ball anymore.
Yeah, well, PJ Tucker is like he may only be about 32, 34 years old, but he plays like he's 36. Sure, he's defensive player like Marcus Smart, but he's just it's inconsistent. And Christian Wood, who was playing extremely well from the beginning of the season, is out, and Oladipo's out, and he only has a 1 year left on his deal that he was signed to before the Rockets, so he may leave. It's ridiculous.
I think you guys would be a lot better if you guys didn't have injury trouble. I think
would be
like 8 or because. What were you guys on, like a 6-game win streak before?
Yeah.
Injured, and then now you're on like an 8-game losing streak.
Yeah, it's sad because then it's awful. And then Boogie Cousins, I mean, he's a decent player, although he's dropped over the years, and I hate to see him leave the team just to be a bench player on a team to win a title again. And it was just stupid just to leave the Lakers if he's just going to go back to them like they say he may do that. But it's unfortunate because I was reading like people are starting to put blame on Steven Silas, their head coach, and it's like, the fuck? This guy, it's his first year as the head coach. I mean, he had to deal with fucking the James Harden drama for the majority of his starting time being this head coach here. On top of having to bring in other players, it's unfortunate. I think they got some work to do. It's unfortunate that Daryl Morey had to leave to go to Philadelphia, but it is what it is. I don't see any big-time players being brought over or signing this offseason just because of how the season is going, and they tend to only go by how they start the season. It's unfortunate. They like you said about the Celtics, this team, ever since they made a shitty decision on not bringing back Clint Capella, they need desperately a significant big man. Christian Wood, hopefully he stays around for a while. I would love for that to happen. They just need, like the Celtics, they need a better bench because they're struggling with that aspect because you can't leave it on John Wall, who's got 2 bad ankles, and then other players. But that is what it is. As always, they'll make the playoffs, but they'll somehow find a way to lose at the end, as they always do, similar to the Celtics, although they don't choke as bad. Unfortunately, though, although the Celtics aren't that bad, being the East sucking right now, a team in New England that didn't have that great of a season is, although a team that you don't necessarily root for, but is a local team, and that is the Patriots. And they are in a rough spot as of now with not making the playoffs for the first time in a long time. Cam Newton not coming back. We'll see other players. What do you say about all this and the ordeal that they find themselves in at post this past season?
Well, first off, I want to say I love the Patriots. I think they're my favorite team. But
I thought you were all in on the Bucks, or is that just Tom Brady?
No, I like Tom. Tom Brady's my favorite athlete of all.
Oh, there you go. Then I retract my statement. Then.
No. I think they need to move on from Cam immediately. I mean, he sucks. He was. I don't know how you can start 15 games and manage to only throw 8 touchdowns, 3 of them being the last game of the year. So he had 5 touchdown passes until week 17, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can't believe we've managed to go 7-9. I mean, that roster, I'll give Cam credit at least. He had 7 wins. Because our roster was horrendous.
Yeah.
Our roster was we had the most COVID sit-outs in the whole league. Edelman got hurt immediately. What did I want to say? I mean, we lost a ton of players too, on the defensive end of the ball, and we lost Tom Brady. So obviously, that didn't. But I think Belichick will figure it out no matter what happens. I wanted to draft personally. What I want to do is I want to get a veteran quarterback. I don't want to start fresh right now.
Yeah.
But if we go that route, I wouldn't mind. I mean, if we somehow manage to get Kyle Trask or Mac Jones, then that wouldn't be worst case scenario. I don't think we saw too much of Stidham, but we saw enough to where we're it's not ideal to keep him as he was pretty bad. But I really wanted Stafford, but I guess he did not want to be here at all.
Because of Matt Patricia doesn't want to play for him again.
Yeah. And I would be fine with Garoppolo, to be honest, just because I feel like don't get me wrong, I don't think he's that good. I think he's a top 15. No, not top 15. I think he's top 20 quarterback, but he finds ways to win. I mean, he made the Super Bowl his last healthy year, and I think he has some really good win percentage. I forget what it is, but I think it's 70%. So as long as you win, I mean, I've always liked that. I mean, Alex Smith, he didn't have good stats at all, but he figured out a way to win every single time. So I give him credit for that.
Plus Alex Smith is now a certified 100% gold standard legend after coming back after almost losing his leg. That sounds playoffs. That is what it is. But then they had the legend himself, Tyler Henke, or whatever the fuck his name is. After that game, I saw or read about or heard about that all his rookie cards for trading cards, football cards, and other NFL cards of his all went up in price significantly after that performance. Although he lost, he played significantly. It's unfortunate that to me though personally, it's not unfortunate because I'm not a huge fan of the Patriots. I'm not a fan of them at all, really. But it's interesting because now they're on the same playing field as all these other teams have played against the Patriots now that they don't have Tom Brady or Gronk and who knows what Edelman and their defense, and Belichick's figuring out what to do now, and now we're realizing that it was Tom Brady, not Bill Belichick, who was the key to that team. But it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see where Cam Newton lies. It was kind of funny. I don't know if I think we mentioned it when Cam Newton got chirped about being poor now that he's a free agent at his camp. But it's sad that's happened. I knew from the start though with Cam Newton as the quarterback, it was going to be fucked up because the man after his injuries and concussions, he still decides to run the ball more than passing it, and he's just. I don't want to say washed up, but I think he's now on the decline, and I feel as though he's regressing. And I don't see him as a starter, although to me he's got the Melo vibe when Melo was coming back into the league, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I have to be a starter."
Yeah,
but we'll see that. Plus, I fucking hate his style that he wears to the game and whatever that hairdo was. Nothing against that. You can dress and wear your hair however you want, but I don't know what the fuck was going on with him. But God bless him, and I wish him all the best. But it's time for him to slowly get back. Well, speaking of TB12 and his team winning it. Seeing as though they won it last year, do you see the Bucks repeating champions next year?
I'm not saying they can't.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's very hard to repeat. So
yeah,
I would bet on them not repeating. But if the Patriots don't pan out, I'm rooting for the Bucks to repeat.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a good shot. I mean, especially if they re-sign Godwin or franchise tag him, if they get all their weapons back, then I don't see why they can't be a contender again.
I mean, plus they have Mr. Shady himself, LaShawn McCoy, as a 2-time Super Bowl back-to-back champion, a rare breed, as they say.
I mean, he didn't get on the field for both of them.
Oh, yes, and he won a Super Bowl, so he's got so much clout right now. He can laugh in all of our faces. I definitely. It's interesting. See, the thing is, I'm happy that they won, but then I'm not happy they won just because now this gives Tom Brady to stay around a lot longer than people I'm sure would want to be, only because he is continuing to get older, and I can see now him making it to 45, although I would not want to see that because it causes way more risk for injury than a younger quarterback. But hey, good for him for still doing it. I'm glad to see that that debacle between Brady and Arians that was happening early in the season now has no merit anymore. What's your prediction or the thoughts for Tom Brady going to next season?
I don't think he'll really. I mean, I don't think he'll digress, and if he does, it won't be by much. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to say that. I think his stats will be less than what they were because he had a very impressive year. He threw 40 touchdowns at the age of 43. That's insane.
Yeah.
If he throws for 30 plus, I consider that good. Consider really good. I think they'll win anywhere from 10 to 13 games next year, or 10 to 12, and I think they'll make the playoffs again. I just think I don't know. He's too good to be bad while playing. I think once he's bad and once he's not having fun, I think that's when he's going to realize I should not be playing.
Yeah. And then once he retires, he can spend all the time he wants kissing his son on the lips.
Yeah.
And I'll be looking. What?
I said that bothers me that he does that.
Trust me, it does. Have you seen that picture with Brady laying down on his back and his son kisses him on the lips? It's very disgusting and cringy, and I don't like it at all. But hey, the man's worth probably $250 million, so who cares? Hey, at least the thing is though, they didn't kiss this Super Bowl. They didn't do that. His daughter held the Super Bowl trophy for a long time. I was disappointed that I didn't get to see Jackson Mahomes celebrate now that he can live off of his brother's Super Bowl check this year again. I think that's what happens. And I don't know if you have TikTok or whatnot, but all Jackson Mahomes posts on there is him either shaking his butt or walking off a jet plane that his brother owns for the family. And it's sad that you have to do that. But hey, granted, he's making money on TikTok from a bunch of other sketchy people on there. Another, what were you gonna say?
Have you seen the video of him absolutely freaking out in his box seats at the Bills Chiefs game, the AFC Championship game?
No, I haven't.
He's shaking his head, all around, screaming. Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend or wife now is also very annoying too.
Yeah, they both are. Now they have a child, so now it's gonna be a whole different. I'm not gonna say breed because that could be coming off as racist, but a whole different animal of wildness years from now. But whatever it may be, another story that I'd love to get your opinion on. I don't know if you saw it, but Mr. Tim Tebow himself, Mr. Catholic Christian himself, has retired from playing professional baseball after 5 tough and long years in the minor leagues for the Mets. At the end of the day, how would you assess his time as a Major League Baseball player?
I don't know. So obviously I didn't follow it because it's
to
follow teams that he was on. But it could have been a publicity stunt, but if it wasn't, he made it all the way up from like the low minor leagues to the double A. He was a double A all-star actually last year, which is that's impressive to be honest. I mean, for someone, I don't think he played at Florida, did he?
I don't remember, but I don't think he did.
Yeah, no, if he didn't, then that's impressive for someone who hasn't played since high school. But yeah, I mean, like obviously, I feel like some of it had to do with his popularity. I give him credit. I mean, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. I wish him the best in like retirement. I don't think he regrets anything. I mean, he seems like he still does the college football commentary, right?
Yeah, he does still do it.
I don't think he'll miss it too much. I think he life ahead of him.
Well, I definitely think, to stick to it too, because a lot of those, most of those years, if not all of them, they were pretty shitty statistic years speaking. They stuck through and they still want to do it, and especially do it at the age he joined that league doing it. It was impressive, and he got pretty big fucking Catholic balls to be able to do that. But hey, he still got a gig afterwards, and it's not as embarrassing. But I feel as though to some degree it was a publicity stunt because he didn't have to do it. I'm sure he was making pretty good money on College Game Day. But from the diamond to the hardwood we go as we discuss the mistaken career of my guest on the hardwood at URI for intramural basketball, the elite intramural basketball league. Let me say that 5 times fast at URI. And what's the grind like? What's the preparation going into making sure you're in tip-top condition for that zone?
Well, let's see. So, I mean, I haven't really been playing much this year because of, like I used to play all the time down at Mackle, but that's been shut down. So I don't really play much. There's been a lot of snow on the ground. So I kind of came in very cold. Season opener. Didn't really do anything at all, actually, for the team. So I was the leading scorer of my team last year, though.
Oh, there
so
you go.
Don't forget that.
Yeah.
0-5, I think. We were feeling it. Actually, you know what? 0-3. We only played 3 games, and we got mercy ruled in, I think, every single one of them.
Hey, it doesn't matter the end result. This matters if you consider yourself putting in valuable minutes for the team, and as long as you take $1 off for the statistics, that's all that matters. For yourself though, now I don't know if you played basketball in high school, but why did you want to join the intramural league at URI?
I mean, it was something to do. I mean, it's always fun, just playing pickup basketball, but when you play intramural, you get a sense of competitiveness again. You know what I mean? It feels like you're playing an organized game again.
Yeah.
And it's always fun to keep track of how good your team is or how good you're doing. I mean, it's just like playing a pickup game, only it's for it means something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not gonna take it 100% seriously.
Oh, yeah.
URI intramurals, but at the same time, it's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are there any guys that you've played with for however long you've been doing it that got some talent that could potentially be on the URI team?
Played on my team or played against?
Like you've played with, whether it be on your team or against it. What's the talent like?
I'm trying to think. Last year I played against this kid who was very small, so I'm gonna say probably not. Maybe he could be on the team as a very, very backup point guard.
Yeah.
But there was this kid who was just pulling up from anywhere and just hitting. He was probably 5'9". It was crazy. Seemed like the fastest kid on the court easily. Defense.
It wasn't the Asian kid that we played with that one time, was it?
Panda? No.
It wasn't Panda?
No, he hit me up a few months ago to play basketball with him.
Oh, there you go. Play with Panda. You can get that international relations up and ready for the school. What and now I don't know how much you've done it this year with COVID and everything, but is it typically the same crowd that shows up, or is it just different guys each time you've done it?
Same crowd as in people watching, or same crowd as in the same team?
Playing the same guys showing up to come play pickup when you've done it.
Oh well, this year actually, you're not allowed to play pickup. It's literally just it's just your game, and then like once you're done with that, you pretty much leave. So it sucks. Yeah, I mean, that was probably my favorite part of living down there. You know what I mean? So you can't do that anymore. But I totally understand it. I mean, I'm sure it'll be back up next semester or 2 semesters from now. But yeah.
Hey, you put in this small grunt work now. Then next semester, when you're loading up on courses, you can spend extra time really helping out the team and putting some valuable statistics in. Well, something. Although we both share a love for basketball to a certain degree, we also share a love for a special town that we both hold near and dear to your heart. You call it home. I call it my second home. It's the grand city of Warwick, or as your friends call it, the WAC, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't give a shit. The WAC. I love it. I'm sure you love it. It's definitely an interesting place. I can't imagine any other place. I mean, obviously my grandparents live there, but I couldn't imagine any other place. I'd rather do DoorDash at night. The thing I love about this the most, and you can attest to it and certainly give your opinion on it, but there's always a lot of fucking EMS vehicles driving through town down Airport Road late at night, honking their sirens, fire trucks, and all sorts of stuff. And I'd love to get your opinion on why this happens so frequently. Is it just because there's so many stupid people that are causing accidents or getting injured, or why do you think there's so many of this, and why do you think it's so annoying?
I don't know. Like, I don't know what you could possibly be doing in like Warwick or Island. Like, it's not like knowledge or like it's crime rate or anything like that. Yeah. I feel like there's not like a ton of like crazy things going on, or like there's not a lot of like scary, dangerous areas. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't understand. I mean, one thing that could be happening is I think there's a fire station on Post Road, like right near Airport Road. So Airport Road obviously connects to that road, and they could just be shooting up. Yeah. Cars should be shooting up that road. But I don't know. I mean, it's certainly scary. I mean, like when you're listening to music and you can't like hear anything, all of a sudden you just see the flashing lights in your and you just gotta like swerve out of the way really quick. Yeah. No, it's definitely something. It's a memory that I hold near and dear to my heart whenever I'm going up there, because I know for a fact it's going to be an interesting night. Wondering what's going to happen with all those. This sure was enjoyable. I want to thank you again for helping me out. This was fun conversing about all sorts of wonderful things. Hopefully next time the production will be better. I did order a green screen that should be coming in tomorrow, so hopefully by next time it'll be impressive and I'll have a nice background, although what I have behind me is more of this as well. But no, thank you again for doing this. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. No, I appreciate it because it was automatically, there was someone who came on a few weeks ago for the second time, so you're part of that club. But the automatic response of, yeah, I'll do that, I'll definitely be there. Although I may have a busy schedule and I have other things to deal with that hold a higher precedent, I'll definitely help you. And I appreciate that, and I'm eternally grateful that we got to work out another day that worked out in time in order to make sure I meet my weekly quota of putting stuff out there. But what I also though appreciate is you helping out, because although you weren't supposed to come on for a little while later, you definitely came on, and that definitely helped. With that being said, though, as usual, this show will be out Thursday morning, 9 a.m. for all you to sit down and stream with your breakfast, or to start your day, or if your day's just starting. If you enjoyed this week's episode with El Jefe and myself, and you haven't done so yet, smash that like button, hit that subscribe and follow button, click that bell to be notified, as well as sharing it with all your friends, family, to help the show grow and show you support. Because who doesn't want the show to succeed? I mean, I don't see any naysayers about this. This show's definitely, once I get big time clout, this episode, and as well as everyone else who's on this, will shoot up in famousness, if that's a correct word. Also, don't forget though to leave a review on your desired podcast streaming service if it is available. I greatly appreciate, as all this help with liking, subscribing, and sharing, following helps improve the show and continues the great quality improvement of this program that I do all by myself. I edit it, produce it, direct it, cut it, add all stuff in all by myself. Fine, perfectly fine. But I greatly appreciate if you stuck around till the and in the words of the immortal Johnny Carson, who is obviously a role model, I wish you all a farewell and a heartfelt good night. See you next week for another edition of the Ice-T Meme Show. Take care.